Hi there. In this quick video we'll be taking a look at Wind Booster, which is a throttle pedal controller. So let's see what we have in the box. And first thing, thank you for sending this unit in. And it's the interface itself, from which you can select the aggressiveness of the throttle pedal of its control. Let's see. Ooh. Does this have? Yeah, it got stuck to the... Okay, this... Is this the connection port? What kind of cable does the connection port have? Okay, let's go further. Okay, similar to Apple. Oh, that's plugs in really nice. It also has the double-sided tape directly applied onto it, so that's great. And let's see exactly what we have in here. So this cable will allow you to basically put this wherever you want in your car. Oh, and it's fairly long, so there will be no issues with the position where you want to install it. A connector here. This will help you depending on where you need to pass it to any of the I don't know, the plastics, the covers of the dashboard. You can have a tiny drill, drill a tiny hole, for example, and only pass this thing through, or yeah, you can squeeze the cable between two panels that are sitting next to each other. It's quite a thin cable, so this shouldn't create any sort of problems when routing it. This is the controller itself. It's Bluetooth. I will explain to you why that's quite important, and for me it's a really good feature. The model, the date when it was manufactured, and this basically it's the connector that goes into your throttle pedal, because this will sit between your throttle and the computer of the ECU, basically, of the car itself. So your throttle will not be going directly to the ECU, will be going through this, which either with this little controller, which with a display that also gets power from your throttle, so it will light up when it's working, or by Bluetooth, presumably to an app. We will read in the manual to see exactly how we can do that to an app. Will tell the car something a bit different than what you are telling it through the throttle, and I will draw in just a moment. But first I want to mention why Bluetooth is so important for me and a nice feature to have. I've played with stuff like this. I even still have one installed in the car from a different brand, but it doesn't have any sort of Bluetooth or other wireless connection. So I need to have this somewhere accessible for me to be able to see what it is set to. But that kind of means it makes it extremely obvious for anybody to know that you have something like this installed. And I'm not too keen on that. I prefer to have this little box somewhere, and I can even not have this accessible at all, because I can connect to the little box by Bluetooth and control everything that I need, and it's a seamless install. You have no clue that it's there, basically. So I really like that. And now let me try and quickly draw onto something how this will operate actually. My understanding and simplification of it, obviously. Beautiful graph will be done on this. So we have the percentage of throttle that you apply and time maximum 1 second, 25 milliseconds, 50 milliseconds and 75 milliseconds. So let me show you. Normally when you press your pedal, let's say you are doing a full press of the pedal, for example. Maybe that takes you to go to 100%, maybe it takes you half a second. For us, in the A4B8, not in sport mode, I'm talking about standard driving mode, this car, from its software, it's a bit slow to respond. So it doesn't even have kind of a straight curve. At the start, it goes and then he wants to accelerate a bit. Let's go to 100%. That's how it interprets the throttle, and it's done like that because they are trying to sell this car from. They wanted to sell the car 15 years ago when I bought it, when it was new, not when I bought it. I wish I had that much money. To all kinds of ages of people. So somebody older doesn't want a car that's really jerky when you just touch the pedal a little bit. So they made it in the first part, it's a bit slow to respond. It doesn't have a straight curve. But that makes it annoying to drive, at least for me, when I'm not in sport mode. And I don't like to always drive in sport mode because it changes gears only at 3500 RPM or something like that. So it stays really revved up. I have the automatic one. So I don't like it. I'm driving in standard mode, not sport mode. Okay, so what this thingy does, fools basically your car. For you, it takes again half a second until you go to full throttle. This senses that you are pressing it fast and tells the car to go faster. So when you are basically not at 100% already pressed, maybe you are only half pressed with your pedal, but it tells the car quicker. So the car receives a graph that reaches this point faster. So when you are, I don't know, at 50%, maybe let's say on this graph, although I don't think it will make sense like this, at 50%, it will already tell the car we've reached max. So quicker. The car thinks that you are able to physically press your throttle pedal quicker than you actually are. Because this sees that you are applying it quickly and just gives the car information at the point you applied 25%, it tells the car directly 50%. So it somehow makes this graph be way more aggressive, depending on the setting that you input on the aggressiveness levels of this thing. As far as I'm aware, it can do the reverse, which will help you if you are... this is not the sort of car where you go off-road, to select that, the A4B8. But it can make it that you have pressed the pedal 50%, but it tells the car, you know what, it's only 25%. So then your throttle, you will play with it, but the car will not really react that much to the throttle. So it can do even the reverse of making it think, hey, that guy really pressed it quickly. Then it can make the car think that guy really pressed it slowly. And you can adjust all of this either through this unit or via the Bluetooth that this thing has. So it doesn't give you more horsepower. It cannot make it react faster than the engine itself is able to spool your turbo and stuff like that. But it can make it so that it seems you press the pedal much quicker and much more aggressive than you actually pressed it. And for me, that helped a lot with similar products that I've used in making the car much more drivable. And this one, by even having the Bluetooth in, that I will not even need to have this anyway accessible. It's just much better. So now let's also quickly take a look at the manual. Let's get this out of the way. Hopefully I was quite clear on what such a unit can do and what it cannot do. It cannot create power from thin air, but it can help your car deliver that power much nicer when you don't even need to set it to sport mode. So you have two zip ties in case you need to attach the cables to something, or to just curl them up a little bit and get them out of the way. And a nice little manual in here. This is how the app looks, presumably. And that's quite nice. And you have the modes at the bottom, but this I will show you more in the second video that I make for this, which will be the install of the unit and my impressions on how it feels, because again I've had such units from different brands and I can give you my impression of it. Dimensions of the product, mode key, plus minus key, this display, obviously, as I told you. This is the thickness of the unit. Cable type, specs. You have apps for iOS and Android, so even if you are an iPhone user, that's really easy to use. And also by having Android, there are many aftermarket head-up units, I think they are called, that run actually Android. Well, you could install the app on that head-up unit, not even on your particular phone. You can have it on the head-up unit of the car that's installed in the car, and you will basically have a touch interface on your car's dash where you can set the level that you want. And yes, do not play with the modes when you are driving. Do that when you are parked, honestly. Do not squeeze the cable. Yes, do not freaking cut this cable between two metals in your car or something. That would be really bad. Do not use the lock mode. Oh, okay. Do not use that one while driving for sure, because it will disable basically your acceleration. Some other cautions, security, and the modes, all of them are explained here. I didn't even think of this. So the mode where I was telling you the car will react slower than you actually press, it's good when you are on mud. So yes, you can reach with the A4B8 mud. I have reached it where the whole car was sliding on some really weird roads where I will never ever go back. But yeah, and I was really easy touching the acceleration and the car was still sliding. So something like this could help you get out of such a weird situation, because you can play more with the throttle, but the car will get less input. Normal mode, Sport, and Sport Plus. Sport Plus, presumably, it's the strongest curve, so it will try to get from 0 to 100% of the throttle the fastest. Again, we cannot change how your car behaves in terms of power that your motor can produce. That does not change by using this, but this changes the way the input from your throttle goes into the ECU of your car. A bit more info about the modes right here. Has a drag mode. Okay, interesting. And to install it, yeah, obviously you just pull the original plug, put this in between. The original plug will go into, I don't even remember which is on the throttle itself and which is on the cable, one of these two anyway. You just put this between the existing cable and the throttle. And that's about it. It gets its power from there and you don't need to run any other cables. So, and if you need more info, right about here. And that's about it for the initial video from my side. The second video where I actually install the unit will be in the description. So yeah, looking forward to that. And yeah, as always, see you in the next video. Bye.